everyone, how are you doing? Welcome back to another Sunday vlog, and if we haven't met before, I'm Pran. Very nice to meet you. I talk about food, all things fitness and healthy lifestyle, which normally come with, the cost of living healthy lifestyle, which people don't normally talk about. I'll be sharing my monthly roundup, how much I spend on grocery, specifically on protein and on my own supplements and vitamin to sustain my healthy lifestyle. I'll share my tracker, how it went, what worked and what didn't go well. Another thing that I want to dive deeper in today's vlog is about grocery. This is one of the major expenses, when it comes to having a healthy lifestyle, because nutrition is the most important part of this whole thing. I want to kind of share how I balance the quality and quantity and how I do my grocery. If this is your cup of tea, please be sure to subscribe and tag along for the journey, because I will continue doing my monthly roundup to continue building a better, more mindful spending habits. Before I actually share the numbers of how much I spent in the last month, I like to kind of share with you how I balance my grocery. Not everything has to be organic to be able to eat healthy and to eat better. I don't need to rely on organic produce all the time. I just kind of put it out there that I don't always buy organic stuff, but I do appreciate some of them, and I definitely do appreciate quality over quantity. You and I, we've had a lot of this conversation because we do want to get organic stuff. We are lucky that we have local farmers market that we can go every week. So we have this conversation a lot. We really want to support local farmers, but we admit that, not all produce or vegetable, they're not sustainable in terms of they're a bit more extra. So how can we find that balance between good quality food and food that we would rather save the money? So our principle here is that we would buy organic fresh fruit and vegetables. For the food that we definitely see huge differences, like kale, they always come in full stock. They're fresh in supermarket. They come as chopped kale, and they might already be in the bag for a few days. They already been washed. I found that they wilted and they just go off very, very easily. Seasonal fruit and veg that you don't get to see on supermarket, for example, like forced rhubarb, radicchio. It makes huge difference to the flavor, to the shelf life. Carrots, for example, I realized that it tastes a lot more like carrots, and that's kind of funny to say. Other green staples that I eat regularly and I don't mind too much: cucumber, broccoli, courgette, aubergine, fruits like banana, tomato. Supermarkets here in the UK, they try to make the price of these ingredients quite competitive. Some other dry ingredients that I don't normally use very often, like black beluga lentils, pearl barley, or spelt, I would get from zero waste shop where I can get smaller amount and they're organic. I would buy as much as I need, smaller amounts, so that I can get through quickly. I don't have that building up in my cupboard and then I just forget to use for another year. And lastly, berries. We buy frozen only, frozen mangoes, frozen pineapples, because pineapples in the UK, nah. All of these frozen fruits, they're great, they're equally nutritious, they don't lack in any way, and it's great for smoothie, it's easy, I just throw it in porridge. The key thing for me about not buying food in bulk or just save a lot of food waste is that I will finish what I'm having first before buying the same kind of similar ingredients. So for example, cheeses, we have cheddar cheese as our staple cheese every week. Each week we will also have special cheeses that we like to alternate, and these are cheeses that I will not buy a lot in one go. Feta, I buy just one pack of feta cheese and I finish that first before I buy ricotta cheese. I will not get two at the same time because that will risk of me not finishing both. Come up with a better strategy in cooking or meal prepping to save your money and save food waste. I'm kind of more like a spontaneous type of person. I like to alternate my dishes every day. So my strategy to cooking each week is to let what's in the fridge tell me what I need to cook. Once I know that there's this one thing, for example, red cabbage needs using, I'll start building my meal based on something to do with red cabbage. And another tip to save you some bits and bobs is shop at grocery on offer. So the majority of the food that we shop from supermarkets are on offer only. There are definitely a few things that we buy full price. For example, cottage cheese, because it's never actually go on offer. And maybe it's worth for you to comparing prices between supermarkets, because Lidl and Aldi are one of the most competitive supermarkets in terms of pricing. These days, Sainsbury's also try to match the price to Aldi. So make sure that you compare prices first. I think this is the most important part, is that don't fall into the supermarket offer trap, even though that I buy food on offer all the time. But don't fall into the trap of feeling like you have to buy more and you have to buy multiple pieces of that item just because they're on offer. I will stick with the same principle. I finish first and then I buy more, because sometimes you might find yourself going through one box of cereal. By the time that you finish that box, that offer will come back again. I also feel like there are definitely a few things, like a few foods that you can do at home using ingredients that are lying around in your cupboard. So these foods are usually healthy, like protein bars, granola. I stopped buying. I would make it myself because I think it is a lot cheaper, healthier, and I can have different varieties that I like. So for today's cooking plan, I'm going to make date bars, which is one of the snacks that we both like. We felt that it's getting more and more expensive. It doesn't come on offer very often. And every time we buy it, I just think that we could make this ourselves. So why didn't we make it? Today is the day. I'm gonna make it. We already got the ingredients, and to see whether it's actually, save money, which I'm sure that it will save some money, but also is it worth the effort doing it? Because sometimes when you buy things, you buy convenience too, right? I already kind of like attempt earlier in the week. So today I'm gonna do like a proper one and see how it goes. So before I reveal the exact number, I'm gonna firstly mention about this notebook. I wasn't sure how I'm gonna use it, but I feel like it might become quite handy, which it did. I basically turned these planners into my spending tracker as well, and on a weekly basis. Basically every week on Sunday I sit down and summarize how much I spend on groceries, and then summarize that into my total spending. This is not my exactly like total expenses, because it does not include, say, traveling. Those aren't the categories that I want to look at. Just to kind of say that when I say total number, it's just the total of the grocery, the meals, and the items on the list that I want to audit myself. Say like by the end of this month, I think it's pretty interesting, especially what I noticed that week, how I felt that week. So what I wrote down here is that I was more conscious of buying ingredients, not buying another pack of something when I know that I already have that in the cupboard. I was shocked to see money flying out just from eating out and having a self-care day. And on week 2, it was the most spending week, because there are some unexpected costs. My bike tires got punctured, so I had to change my tires, like both of them. Instead of buying cheaper tires, I decided to just invest a little bit more in like the puncture resistant tires that I know it would last me longer, so then I don't have to come back with this problem of like my bike's getting punctured over and over again, you know. And also I bought a new pair of trainers, the one that my physiologist recommended. These are good for my knees and good for my feet as a part of my knee rehab and prehab preventative measure. I bought it on discount, yes, but it is still pretty expensive. But it is best to invest in something high quality that you know they're gonna last long and also good for your health and well-being in general. I also say that I wanted to get a haircut. It is quite long now. I decided that maybe I'll wait until next month. On week 3, I just say that, you know, I was proud that I didn't let laziness took me over and then bought lunch to the office every day. So this is the week that I went to the office 3 days in a row and I was like exhausted. On the week 4, which is this week, I wrote here that, you know, I lacked inspiration and felt like, you know, I wanted to eat out more to feel better and enjoy life more. It's been stressful month and I just felt like, you know, I didn't enjoy my cooking, I didn't enjoy my food. This last week was the week that I felt like, please can we just eat out, because I really wanted to have someone cooked for me. I want to try some new things. It is fair when you kind of have that emotional factor. Sometimes you need to allow yourself, because that day made me feel a lot better. So, you know, it was worth it. It was well spent. And now it's time to review the number. Well, let's guess how much I spent on yogurt this month. So here I have this paper. If you remember, when I did it last month, it was quite rustic. On the second week, I realized that this one was not working because it didn't give me the insight that I really need. So I created a new one where I listed the amount of that item that I bought to just really get the accuracies that I needed. I spent in total £318, 95 of which is the grocery, and this is for the household, for 2 person. I also saved £600, put that into my saving accounts. This is pretty decent considering that this could be, you know, another heavy spending month. It didn't actually hit my goal of £800, but it's close enough, so which, you know, this is great. Week 2, I spent £743, 74 of which went into groceries for the household, and obviously unexpected and extra costs are my tires, £60 deposit. This one is for my photo shoot in summer, so, you know, stay tuned for that. That's something really, really exciting, and I'm really looking forward to that photo shoot. So on week 3 in total, I spent £198, £108 of which went into grocery. Week 4, I spent in total £97 and 83 of which, well, I can't really say 83 of which, right? Because, well, yeah, I think this is wrong, because this is like the amount of grocery that I spend for the household. So that will be, you know, 42 something for myself, but that's basically like about half of my expenses went to grocery. So you can see that the dramatic drop in my personal expenses. I think it is pretty good. Like, we did really well for that. You know, it's less than £400 for the whole month for 2 person. And now we're going to look into each category, and I think this is the most surprising, because considering the amount of times that I bought tempeh and tofu and yogurt, I bought in total 4 blocks of tempeh, 5 blocks of tofu, 6 Greek yogurt from Aldi, 2 pots of fire yogurt. It felt like a lot when you keep buying things like week by week, because sometimes I feel like I bought 2 tubs of yogurt in a week. If you look at the cost of it, in total of all that, you know, the whole month I spent only less than £12 for yogurt from Aldi. And supplements that I bought actually cost quite a lot. The newest addition is the magnesium. I've experienced some like terrible sleeps, and I really want to improve my sleeps and hope that, you know, that will improve my PCOS symptoms and my mood swings. This was recommended by a nutritionist and PCOS doctor. I wanted to invest in good quality supplement, and therefore it tend to be a little bit more on an expensive side, but I think it's gonna be worth it. And then everything else just felt surprisingly low, and, you know, considering how many times that I bought them. This is really incredible insights that I see here. And obviously, like, the amount of money that I spent the most went to my meals out. Some meals also included coffee and drinks. I still feel like if I went out for 3 to 4 times in a month, and I spend just about £100, some with coffee, some with a glass of wine. I'm not doing so bad. And if each month I can budget myself just about £100, I think I'm doing really, really well. Please feel free to kind of pause this video and just have a closer look of other numbers that I didn't mention. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with the progress and the spending that I tracked this month. This is still work in progress, and there's some more for me to work on. I think another thing that I want to try is I say do yogurt myself or do like date bar myself. Would that actually save more cost in the end, or would it just basically add more hassle? I may as well just pay a little bit more for convenience. And now I think it is the time for us to have a look at the date bar that I put in the fridge for a couple of hours now. Foams up a little bit better, but it's definitely sticky. I struggle to kind of make it even, like an even block, because it's sticking so much. Maybe I'll put it in the freezer for a bit, then I can cut it. Or maybe I shouldn't really spread it out too wide. Like, who wants to have thin date bar? Anyway, I'm gonna pop this into the freezer. This has been in the freezer for a while, maybe like a couple of hours, and it definitely firmed up, so I think it might be more manageable to handle and slice these, but it's still not fully firm. But at least I feel like it's not sticking to my finger anymore. I guess there's nothing else that I can do, so this is my first proper batch ever, and I'm sure that there's room to improve. So I popped that back in the freezer, so hopefully it will firm up overnight, and yeah, I guess I'll see how it turns out as a final result. But I mean, the flavor is fine, so as long as it tastes good, then it's all good for me. So I'm going to crack on with my dinner, just have like an easy, gentle wind down before I start my busy week tomorrow. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to see you in my next monthly roundup very, very soon. Bye.